Declaration of Independence of democratic against Negro slavery. Congress eliminated this, but these words were left intact.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life,
Liberty,
and the pursuit of happiness.
There were slaves in every one of England's American colonies. Slaves were not people, but property. Most slaves worked on plantations as field hands, from day clean to first dog. They usually lived in small cabins with dirt floors and no windows.
They ate cornmeal and sweet potatoes, and sometimes a bit of fish or meat. Their clothing was made of sackcloth. Each slave had but one pair of shoes to last all year. The beds were piles of straw or rag in the corner of the room. In the winter, cold, wind, rain, and snow would come through large cracks in the ceiling. During heavy rains, the floors would become as muddy as a pig pen.
Slaves could not leave their master's land without a written pass. They could not visit homes of white or free blacks. They could not hold meetings without a white person being present, except in some states for church services. Slaves were not allowed to read and write, and their marriages were not legal.
A slave could be whipped or beaten for such crimes as trying to run away, not working as hard as a master wished, or even talking back to a white person. More serious crimes meant branding, imprisonment, or death. Not all slave owners were cruel, but slavery was cruel. To express hope for a better life, slave children would sing.
Promise
out of coffin. You were just a boy. How do you remember this?
I can still hear my father say, "Why do they chain you?" And I remember the slaves answering, "They have taken us away from our wives and our children, so they chain us, lest we make our escape and go back to them."
February 12, 1793, Congress passed the first fugitive slave law. Aiding a fugitive slave is a penal offense. You will be fined $500 if you harbor a fugitive or prevent his arrest. The master or his agent is authorized to enter your premises and arrest the runaway, capture him wherever he is found. He is authorized to go before a local magistrate and receive, upon satisfactory proof of ownership, a certificate enabling him to take the prisoner back to the state from which he had fled. The slave has no legal rights whatsoever.
That liberty is a great thing. We know from our own feelings. I must say I had hoped to God that they would open their eyes, but they did not understand the state of the black man.
isolated families, people with strong convictions about how wrong slavery was began to act against the law. They formed groups to abolish slavery and became known as the abolitionists. Most significant of these were the Religious Society of Friends, known as the Quakers. They insisted all Quakers give up their slaves, and by 1799, there were no slave owners in New York State. They taught former slaves to read and write, and trained them to earn a living, and helped them to find places to live.
Thomas Garrett, you are fined so heavily that you are left penniless. Still, you told the judge?
Thee hasn't left me $1, but I wish to say to all in this courtroom that if anyone knows of a fugitive who wants a shelter and a friend, send him to Thomas Garrett and he will befriend him.
Slave law, 1850. The second fugitive slave law is passed. Any person hindering the arrest of the fugitive will become subject to a fine not exceeding $1,000 or imprisonment not exceeding 6 months, and will be liable for civil damages to the party injured by such illegal conduct in the sum of $1,000 for each fugitive lost.
This only served to stimulate the work of the Underground Railroad, the Quakers, Methodists, and other individuals. The farmers of Middlefield, Connecticut, put the issue into their simplest terms.
This fugitive slave law commands all its citizens to be slave catchers. Good citizens cannot be slave catchers any more than light can be darkness. You tell us the Union will be endangered if we oppose the law. We reply that greater things than the Union will be endangered if we submit to it. Conscience, humanity, self-respect are greater than the Union, and these must be pursued at all hazards. This protected law commands us to withhold food, raiment, and shelter for the most needy. We cannot obey.
The Broad Street African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church is the oldest black church in the city of Peekskill and one of the oldest religious organizations in the county of Westchester. The Broad Street Church was 9 years old at the start of the Civil War in 1861. Legend has it that it served as one of the depot rest stations of the Underground Railroad for Harriet Tubman, the great emancipator.
Harriet Tubman was a conductor on the Underground Railroad. Many times she returned to the South and led over 300 men, women, and children to their freedom. She was called the Moses of her people. In December 1851, she once again returned to the South, to take a band of fugitives to Canada. She announced her arrival in the quarter by singing the forbidden spiritual.
Oh, down, Moses, way down in Egypt's land, hello, Pharaoh, to let my people go.
Mouth to ear.
Moses is coming. Moses is here. Get ready. Moses is coming back again.
to have another crew of slaves to freedom. You have to be daring, cunning, brave. You are standing on the icy bank of a river with Joe Bailey, his brother, and 2 other slaves. Yet you carry a gun. You would shoot one of the wretched people who have entrusted you with their lives?
I'll wait no water for no crazy woman.
You come on with me, or you die. Dead livers tell no tale. So come on with me, or you die.
Let me go back. Let me go back. I'm bored of that.
You try to run back to those woods. You try to turn back now, and you will never run anymore. If you go back now, your overseer will make you turn traitor. Your old master will make you turn traitor. They will make you tell our stopping places, the corn stacks, and the names of every farmer who has fed and sheltered us. You've got to go on or die. You would risk the lives of everyone who has helped us. So come on now, let's go.
The rewards are up to $40,000 for your capture.
On my underground radio, I never run my train off the track, and I never lost a passenger.
On another trip, you are accompanying the runaway on the train. All the way to Niagara Falls, she sits with her head on her hands, refusing to look at her surroundings, sure she will be captured and returned to slavery at any moment. Finally, halfway across the bridge between New York and Canada, you left her.
You done touched the line for.
She was freed from slavery.
Oh, go carry the news. One more soul is God's sake.
This is what Harriet and the underground workers lived for.
Follow the drinking gourd. Follow the Big Dipper.
For your man's wait for
of Connecticut to open his house to fugitives. He considered slavery a state of war and proposed to organize an army of slaves who would drill and train to rescue slaves in large numbers. Although all abolitionists shared the same goal of freeing slaves, those drastically different means to achieve it. John Brown believed that guerrilla warfare was the best way to end slavery. Brown spent most of his time visiting Underground Railroad workers trying to win their support. One of these was Harriet Tubman. He met with Harriet Tubman in the forest near St. Christopher, Canada. Harriet Tubman, although she hated bloodshed, agreed to help Brown. She never got the opportunity.
Another great abolitionist Brown needed to meet was Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was the most powerful spokesperson the abolitionists had. He had been a slave who had escaped to New Bedford, Massachusetts when he was 21. When he spoke before the Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society, they were so impressed with his eloquence that they sent him around the country as their spokesperson. John Brown met Frederick Douglass in the area of Peekskill, New York. The gist of their conversation here is not known. Two great abolitionists with a great common goal, but hoping to employ different means to achieve it. Can we imagine their hopes, their passions, their words as they came together here? Or we can only imagine.
On October 16, 1859, John Brown chose the federal arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, for his first attack. His small army of 17 white men and 5 black men passed out ammunition and guns to slaves in the surrounding area. Robert E. Lee was sent to quell this rebellion and capture or kill all of Brown's men. On December 2nd, 1859, John Brown was hanged.
But in face of this fact, I can say I never did more congenial, attractive, fascinating, and satisfactory work.
Kentucky Railroad workers employed any means necessary to transport their charges along the escape routes.
47 slaves, Calvin Fairbanks, guided toward the North Star in violation of the state codes of Virginia and Kentucky. I guided them through the forest at night. Girls fair and white, dressed as ladies, and men and boys as gentlemen or servants. Boys dressed as girls and girls dressed as boys. Women in men's clothes, men in women's clothes. On foot, on horseback, on buggy, in common wagon, in and under straw and loads of hay, furniture, boxes, and bags. Crossing the Jordan of the slave, swimming and wading chin deep in boats, on skiffs, on rafts, and often on pond logs. And I never suffered one to be recaptured.
Slaveholders had sought to impress their slaves with the belief of the boundaries of slave territory and their own limitless power. Our notions of this country were vague and distinct. We had heard of Canada, simply as a place where the wild goose and swan repaired at the end of winter to escape the heat of the summer, but not as the home of man.
The Underground Railroad had its own special language, signals, secret words, and secret messages that only the escaping slaves and those who helped them could understand. Slaves were passengers. Station masters or station agents sheltered the passengers and gave them food and clothing. Conductors led the slaves from one hiding place to another. The secret places slaves hid were stations or depots.
There were also hand signals. A closed fist meant safety. An open hand meant danger. There were secret words. Forward meant send slaves on to the next station. Travel conditions meant safety of travel. Throw a switch meant change directions.
The words of certain spirituals were used as code words to signal escapes, revolts, or secret meetings. To give themselves hope of an escape on the Underground Railroad, they would sing, "Sweet Love, Sweet Chariot." A conductor would signal to a slave to be ready to travel by singing, "Follow the drinking gourd." A drinking gourd was a dried vegetable shaped like a dipper that was used in the slave's household to dip water from a bucket for drinking. In the spiritual, the drinking gourd represents the Big Dipper, a group of stars arranged in the shape of a Big Dipper in the northern sky. The North Star is one of the stars that forms the Little Dipper. Escaping slaves used it to find their way to the north. To signal other slaves to come away to a secret meeting, slaves might sing,
Who's there?
A friend of the friends.
Seldom a week passed without our receiving visitors by way of that mysterious road. We found it necessary to be always prepared to receive our company and to properly care for them. We knew not what night nor what hour of the night we'd hear that gentle rap, rap, rap at the door. Now this was a signal announcing the arrival of the Underground Railroad. The locomotive did not whistle nor make any other unnecessary noises.
Conductors and station masters, with so much at risk, had to be constantly vigilant and crafty, as well as brave, to fool the bounty hunters who were always in pursuit of fugitives. John and Mary Smith were station masters.
Mary and I were hiding two fugitive girls when some slaveholders came to the door. I answered while Mary quickly took the girls to the bedchamber, and there she pulled the bed apart, hid under the mattress.
Girls, quietly, lie yourselves on the ropes that support the mattress, and do not worry as if we make the bed orderly, for ye shall have sufficient air.
Mrs. Smith went downstairs as John stood at the door addressing the slave hunters.
Let them come in, John. He knows there are no slaves here. I did not lie, for I am a Quaker, and there is no such thing as a slave.
July 1863, over 1,000 people were killed in the draft riots in New York City. Mobs burned and sacked stores and saloons and hanged niggers. The village trustees were alarmed that the mobs might march on peekskill, and the local paper, the Highland Democrat, needed.
Let us have no outrages upon the person or property of our colored population. They have done nothing to invite or provoke violence. They constitute a decent, orderly class who have taken no part in the disreputable manifestations made in their name. They are helpless and suffer from the inequality of their condition to deserve the protection of the masses. Let peekskill maintain its reputation as a peaceable and law-abiding village. Whatever is wrong can be righted more easily and more speedily than by mob violence.
Park Street African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church, which Harriet Tubman was believed to have used, was but one of the places in Peekskill utilized by the Underground Railroad. In the middle of the basement sits a strangely constructed cabinet with a cavity behind the shelves that store the hymnals. This space is believed to have been a hideaway.
Harriet Beecher Stowe wrote the famous book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. Her brother was Henry Ward Beecher, a well-known preacher. He owned one of the finest houses in Peekskill on a large parcel of land known as Jacob's Hill. This became St. Peter's School, and more recently, Society Hill, across from the Beach Shopping Center. Left to our imaginations, we can almost hear Henry Ward Beecher talking now.
I share a strong interest in writing with my dear sister Harriet. I work with her on writing Uncle Tom's Cabin. She has much occasion to visit me here in my fine Peekskill home. But with my published sermons and lectures, I'm able to speak out quite forcibly against slavery. My journals, in great demand both here and abroad, earned me great sums of money to assist the anti-slavery movement. Both of my brothers, one in Kansas and the other in Ohio, support the abolitionist movement. They count on my financial assistance. I send my brothers crates of rifles. And with these rifles, their struggles become armed battles. Now these rifles, known as Beecher's Bibles, are secured by shipping them by boat or train from Peekskill. Now all this covert activity occurs in a large wooded area on my property, right out here on East Main Street.
Sweet
great, well-known abolitionist, was clever enough not to get caught breaking the law, so he could continue in his important work. We do not know. Down the street, at 1028 Main Street, the site of the old peekskill YWCA, markings on the basement wall are believed to have been put there by slaves who needed a safe house.
The Cortland Upper Manor House is said to harbor a secret room in the cellar that hid horses and soldiers in the Revolutionary War, then fugitive slaves during the days of the Underground Railroad.
Whenever I hear someone arguing for slavery, I feel a strong impulse to see it tried on him personally.
January 1st, 1863, the final Emancipation Proclamation is issued. All slaves in those states rebellious to the Union are free. Black troops may serve in the Union Army.
President Abraham Lincoln said of the proclamation,
All that I can say now is that I believe the proclamation has knocked the bottom out of slavery, though at no time have I expected any sudden results out of it.